Hi everybody, so today I wanted to talk about 4 processes we need to master in order to get good at what I call systematic fretboard mapping, which means working out all the different voicings for a given chord and inverting them and altering them and so on and so forth. This is quite a daunting prospect. I remember the first time I saw the Ben Monder handout, probably about 12 years ago now, the absolute feeling of being, I almost made me angry, right? I remember a bit from The Restaurant at the End of the Universe by Douglas Adams, where there's a machine called the Total Perspective Vortex, and it shows you basically the entire size of the universe and you in relation to it, and the psychic shock sort of annihilates your brain. This is how I often feel about things like fretboard harmony, and yet here I am doing it. But today I wanted to show you I'll just flash up what I'm talking about. The first page of the Ben Monder thing, for instance, lists it's not even every combination. Anyway, it's the combinations of the basic major 7th, C major 7th chord, all complete voicings, and then various ways you can alter or replace notes within it to make different chords. Okay, so I think of this less as like, oh my goodness, I have to learn a million chord shapes, and more like, this is a way of teaching me the process of mapping the fretboard, which is actually an incredibly useful thing. And there are, these are the basic ingredients that I would use. So first of all is a knowledge of where the octaves are on a guitar. So, especially if the guitar's in tune, always helps. So you know that, for instance, if I've got a note here, I can put it up an octave like that, or put it up an octave like that. Sorry, put it up an octave like that. A little bit hard to say that, isn't it? Same with this, all up 2 octaves. Okay. And then the second thing, which I think you should learn, is what Mick Goodrick referred to as the unitar. So, for instance, if I've got a C major chord, I should know the C major 7th chord tones all the way along the neck, right? So this is root, 3rd, 5th, 7th root, or in absolute pitches, C, E, G, B, C, same for this, G, which is the 5th, it's good to know both, 5th, 7th B, root C, 3rd E, root, sorry, this is the 7th, root, 3rd, 5th, 7th root again, right, and then, really important, right? The third thing you should know is what the notes are and what the intervals are within a given chord, particularly the latter. So again, this basic voicing of a C major chord, it's root, 5th, 7th, 3rd. This one's different, it's root, 3rd, 5th, 7th. This one's different, it's root, 7th, 3rd, 5th. Okay? You should know that, right? Let's start with this familiar voicing. Okay, so we're going to do our first transformation, which is revoicing, and we're going to take notes in this chord and put them up and down by the octave. So, for instance, if I want to take put that up an octave, I can put it up an octave to here. We get this voicing. Okay, go back to this one. I might want to put this one up by an octave, which means it goes here. So, apologies for the tuning. Okay. The next one I might want to choose, I might want to put this down by an octave. I get this. Okay? The next operation is inversion. This uses the unitar idea. So, each of these notes is going to move up to the next chord tone along the string. Root to 3rd. Okay? Okay. 5th to 7th, or to B. Okay. 7th to 1, to root, 3rd to 5th. So next inversion. Right, now we have 3rd, 7th, root, 5th. And again, we can do our revoicing procedure. Moving the 7th down by an octave, for instance. We can move this note up by an octave. Okay, and so on, right? So these are important skills to learn because that will allow you to, for instance, do all the drop 2 inversions. then if I turn this into this happens to be known as a drop 3. Same thing again. Yeah. If I do the 7th, can't remember what this is called, but it's a nice type of voicing, and you can go all the way up like that. Of course. Yeah, for this 3rd inversion, right? Okay. And then you can get all the voicings of C major 7th by using those 2 procedures together. The next 2 procedures, the next 2 operations, are to change the character of the chord. First one is alteration. So this relies on you knowing what the intervals are within a chord. So for instance, this one again, root, 5th, 7th, 3rd. They're out of order, remember? Okay, if I wanted to turn into a minor major 7th, I would take the 3rd, which is the top note in this case, down by a half step. Okay, can I do that for the next inversion? No, the 3rd is there. What about the next one? Remember, it changes its position as we go up. Okay, what about this one? Becomes that. Very dark sounding chord. Okay, what about if I have this version and then doesn't matter which way round I do the operations. I could do, first of all, I could alter and then put that note up an octave. Or I could put it up an octave first and then alter it. As long as I know where the intervals are, doesn't matter, okay? So this is alteration, and we can go by lowering the 3rd, we can go to a minor major 7th, lowering the 7th as well, we get a minor 7th, raising the 5th, major 7 sharp 5, flattening the 5th, major 7 flat 5, it's a useful voicing actually. Flattening the 7th, dominant, flattening the 3rd, 7th and the 5th, 7 flat 5, half diminished by flattening all the notes apart from the root, and so on and so forth. So we should be able to do all of that. That's the root there, everything else goes down. Yeah. Same with this. Yeah. And I think that's one of the useful things is you can go different ways about this. You can revoice, then invert, and then alter, or you could alter, then revoice, then invert. You'd end up with the same results, but your pathway would be different, and each would teach you a different thing. I'll give you an example of that. So, for instance, if I wanted to go to, I don't know, a 3rd inversion spread voicing, so one like this, of a major 7 sharp 5 chord. Okay, so we could start by altering. Then we could change the voicing like this. And then we could invert. So it goes up to 3rd. This goes up to here. Okay, but this one goes up to from the 3rd to the sharp 5 this time. So that's the first inversion. We go up to the next one. It'll be this. Cut a long story short. You might have to work that out. Obviously, it'll take a bit longer. And then that's how we do it that way. Or I could say, okay, I'm going to invert first. Like this, then I'm going to raise the 5th, and then I'm going to take this, in this case this voicing type is taking the note on the G string, putting up an octave. And as a process that felt very different, even though we ended up with the same result. Last operation is replacement. So we're going to take a note from the chord and replace it with something else, some kind of usually diatonic to the the scale of the chord or whatever. So a common one would be to, I've written a tune about this called Mountainari using this chord. We take the major 7th and replace the 3rd with the 2nd or 9th, depending how you look at it. And so again, we can go through with our drop 2s, we can go through this procedure, doing the replacement 2nd, and then lastly this. Okay, or we can do the replacement first and then do the inversion. Well, that's so this is how we can invert any cell of notes. It doesn't have to be like tertial or whatever. So we can go like, well, this is root 5th, 7th, 2nd, right? The 2nd now goes up to the 5th. Is it the 2nd note? Yeah. Root goes to 2nd. Yeah. 5th goes to 7th, and the 7th goes up to the root. So we get this different construction for the same thing, and then same thing. So now we've got the 5th that goes up to the 7th. we've got the root here that goes up to the second. So we get that. The seventh moves up to the root, so we get that, and then the second moves up to the fifth. So we get that, right? So that's the other way around. So if you practice a bit of those every day, I think it will really build your fretboard muscles. Just to demonstrate, you're not limited to just using like things like seventh chords. For instance, if I take a C major 9, you can do the exact same procedure on it. Just recognise that the notes inside a C major 9 doesn't include the fifth. It has root, third, seventh, ninth, stroke second. So the root will go up to the second, the third will go all the way up to the seventh, the seventh will go all the way up to the, will just edge up to the root, and the second or the ninth will go up to the third. So you end up with that as your first inversion, then that, and then, now you're asking this, and then this again. So you can learn to invert practically any set of notes. It doesn't have to be 4 notes, of course, if you've got triads, but you can also do like a cluster, so which would be harder on the guitar, but let's sort of space it out a bit. So maybe second and third, like a little subset of the major ninth we just did. Sorry, yeah, major ninth. So then this is root, second, third. So we move up to the second here. This goes all the way up to the root again. Might be too hard to play. We'll see. That works. And then you can see how that's related to the other one, right? And then you're going third, second, and then the third on top is going all the way up to the root, I think. Is that right? Yeah, there's a third there. And we get this. Probably a more sensible way to finger that. So I hope that helps you with your fretboard explorations. Very simple idea. Obviously takes a lot of practice to get under your finger brains, or whatever they are. Anyway, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Leave any hurtful comments below, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.